Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Burnt Pancakes podcast, the podcast where we talk about motherhood in the way it actually feels and not the way that it looks on Instagram. I'm your host, Katie Fensky, and I remind moms that everyone burns their first pancake. Now, today's conversation is going to be a really important one, especially if you're in the thick of postpartum or you remember that season and how it still kind of weighs on you and how you still feel it. I'm chatting with Courtney Boylan, mom of three and founder of Lolo, a brand created out of her own postpartum experience and the realization that that season of motherhood is often overlooked and rushed and just treated way too clinically. Courtney is passionate about reminding moms that they still matter, that they're not just patients, caretakers, or a body healing after birth, but a whole human going through a massive identity shift. We talk about postpartum realities, losing and finding yourself again, and what real support for moms should actually look like. So, if you've ever felt invisible after having a baby or wished someone would just say, "You matter too," then this conversation is for you. Courtney, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Katie. Thank you so much for having me.
I am very much looking forward to discussing that early postpartum experience because my oldest is 12, my youngest is 6, and I can still like remember every feeling, every sound. Like it really sticks with you. So I'm excited
Yes.
you're here to talk about that. Will you start off by just introducing yourself and tell us where you're from and how many kids you have and their ages?
Yes. So I am Courtney. I am the founder of Lolo. I am actually in Baltimore, Maryland. Originally a West Coast girl, originally from Oregon, but I'm now here, a East Coast girl in Maryland. I have three kids. My oldest daughter is 10, my son is 6, and my littlest daughter is 4.
Love it. So we were just talking earlier,
Mhm.
our kids are pretty close in age. So
Yes, they
we're going
are.
through that middle mom phase.
We are.
Was that different for you to go from like little kid to middle mom?
Um, I think I enjoy the middle mom a little bit more than the little baby mom.
Yeah.
I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, and it was actually really, really hard for me. It was a really tough time, just, keeping them busy and
It's
trying to,
lonely.
yeah, it's
Even
lonely.
with
And
kids at home, it's lonely.
yes, absolutely. I commend the mothers who are good at it and who love it and just enjoy it. That was not me. And I think that's like a real skill that you have to be,
Yeah.
because being a stay-at-home mom is so hard. It is so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like too when I sent all my kids off to school, it was kind of like oh my God, like now I have free time again and I don't know what to do with myself. Like, well, start a podcast and
Yes, there you
go off
go.
and do
Right.
that.
You
But it
found
was
something to
weird
do.
going from like, I'm so used to going on park dates and like doing music class to now like, okay, I don't have that anymore. So you have
Which
this
is
like new,
sad
yeah,
at the
it
same
was like,
time.
yes, it was a little bit
Yes.
sad to be moving out of the baby stage, but also this sense of like, this is so nice. This
Yeah.
is so nice to be able to breathe again.
Yes,
So
yes, definitely.
anyways,
Yeah,
yes.
I know. I feel you. You always want what you can't have. It's like you
Right.
miss that, but you're enjoying it.
Right.
It's
Because I
all the times are so tender, but
yes, I
yes.
just got a memory pop up of my middle, like a little baby picture of him when he was
Yes. Those are
probably,
my favorite.
God, he was probably like a year and a half. And he was with my friend's daughter who like we had met for coffee and took a picture of them. And I was like, oh, he's so cute. Look at his little face. But then I'm like, but I had to sit and have coffee with a 1.5-year-old who probably only sat for 5 minutes. I'm like, he's so, so cute. And I want to go back and like squeeze him, but I
Yes.
don't want to have to take care of him.
I know. I
It's so
know. My son
different.
lost his first tooth a couple weeks ago, and I cried. I was like so
Yes.
sad because it was so monumental. You're getting big,
Uh-huh.
you're losing teeth. He's like, Mommy, why are you crying? He's like, it's just my first tooth, Mommy. I'm still gonna be around and live for 2,000 more years.
No,
I was
but
like, I
what
know,
I
baby.
remember is when you got that first tooth. And I remember rocking you because you
Right.
were fussy and you were teething. And I remember like that tooth
Yes.
popped in. And it's like when my oldest lost his first tooth, I was like, oh my God, like that was the tooth. I stayed home from work because you were so cranky and I didn't know what was wrong with you.
Yes.
Yes.
I
It all brings
know.
up. Okay, so let's go
I
back
know.
to your postpartum
Okay.
experience.
Yes.
What was the moment that you realized like something about the season isn't being talked about enough? Like, what was your experience like?
Yeah, postpartum was really, really tough for me. I felt like I tried to educate myself. I heard stories from other moms, but
Hmm.
you don't really understand what it is until you are in
Have
it
to go through it.
yourself and you go
Hmm.
through it. You can hear all the stories in the world, but until you feel those feelings and you're in it, deep in it on your own, it's
Yeah,
not until then that you understand.
yeah.
And I just felt I was, I just didn't feel like me. I felt like I missed my old self, to be honest. I wanted a
Hmm.
little piece of that. It was like new. I, had this new body that I wasn't comfortable in, and I was trying to take care of this baby who I loved, but was so scared because I had no idea what I was doing and was terrified as a
Yes.
mom that I was going to ruin them or just that I
Hmm.
wasn't doing something right. And it's just a really scary feeling, especially when you have all your hormones raging in your body and you're in pain, and it's just so many things and so many feelings at once, especially as a first time mom. And I just wanted a little piece of me. And I looked around at all the products that I was using. They were everywhere. And I was just like, wait a second, like, why are these so clinical, so stale, so sterile? If there's anyone who deserves pretty accessories, it's a new mom. We always put so
Yeah.
much focus on the baby. What does the baby
Hmm.
have? Does the baby have everything we need? The registry is everything for the baby. We forget about the mom, and the mom's really the one who's going through it, the one who is the primary caretaker of the baby. And I just, at that point, was like, we as moms, we deserve better.
Absolutely. And you don't want to feel embarrassed buying like these nipple pads and this. Like, you're right. You want it to feel
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Spot on.
Yes.
So I always tell this story, but when we would have people come over to our house, I was so embarrassed. I was like taking all my stuff and hiding it and putting it away in drawers and just like getting rid of it so it wasn't out, because they're not cute and they're not pretty, and you don't
Hmm.
want people to see
I didn't want
them.
my husband to even see that. I'm
Right?
like, yes.
I don't ever want a mom to feel that way. She should feel empowered by what she has to use and the accessories she uses, and that's why I wanted to, build something new for moms.
I love that. Did you feel like your experience postpartum changed at all with the second and third kid? Because like everything you were saying about your first experience, like I prepared myself. People gave me advice like sleep when the baby sleeps. I'm like, yes, I'll
Yeah,
do that. But
right.
you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
really understand until you have your first baby, like
Sure.
how tired you're going to be and how that
Mhm.
will affect you mentally and physically and all of that. But did you feel like after baby two and three, like your postpartum experience was different, or was it still pretty like, ooh, this is intense still?
It definitely wasn't as intense because I kind of knew what to expect. Now, I had different feelings as I went through postpartum with each kid because just because your hormones are different. Like, I just
Hmm.
remember when with my daughter, my shins were sweating. Like, I was like, this is so, like, what is going on? Why are my shins
No,
sweating? Like, my shins were always sweating, which is so weird.
so
And
different.
they were just like different feelings. But
Hmm.
as for like the feeling in my body, I felt that with every one of them. I didn't love being pregnant. I didn't love the changes with my body. It was just really hard
Yes.
for me. And that piece was the same, but it was still hard with both. But just understanding kind of what I was going to go through because I'd been through before made it
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. I kind of felt that way too. The first one just rocked my world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
by like the second and third, it's like, okay, I know we're probably going to have maybe two or three night feedings, but
Yes.
like the end is in sight. Whereas with the first,
Right.
you're like, I feel like I'm going to do this forever. Like
Yes.
at the time, my good friend had had her baby 2 months before me. So in the first like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I called her and I was like, when is he going to sleep better? When am I going to do it? And she's like, do you want the honest answer? She's like, probably by about 3 months, like things will start feeling. And he was only like 3 weeks old. And I'm
Yes.
crying because I was like, I can't do this for 3 months. But then with the other two, it's like, oh, I have 3 months of being able to watch my show in the middle of the night, and
Right.
then I won't be able to do
Yes.
this anymore. Or it's my last,
Yeah.
like, oh, these sweet moments in the middle of the night when it's just the two of us.
Mhm.
So that changed a little bit. It was still really hard. But did you have a COVID baby? So was your youngest born? Mine was
So,
December of 2019, so right before
uh-huh.
COVID.
Yeah, so mine was July of
Okay.
2019, and then
Okay.
my daughter was born in 2021. So he was 6 months old when COVID hit.
Okay.
And I actually, and I know it's a lot different for everyone, but my husband, he works for Amazon. So our world didn't really change because he was still working and doing
So,
everything
yeah.
that he was doing before COVID. Obviously, we couldn't go out of the house, but as a new mom, I didn't want to get him sick anyways, and I wasn't taking him anywhere. So
Right.
not a lot changed for us in
Right.
that time frame. And I just remember, I just love the 6 month mark. So I feel like, and I felt like my husband was home a little bit more, just because they were trying to close down as much
Hmm.
as they could. So that was like really a precious time for me, which I know is not the same for everyone, but I
I,
felt just more of like a family, and we had
yeah.
more time together, which I really loved.
Yeah. I kind of look back at the same. Like it was a very stressful time, but my husband had
Yes.
to work from home. So
Mhm.
instead of coming home at like 8 o'clock at night, he was home,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
trying to work in the other room.
Sure.
And I felt like I was able to breastfeed my third the longest because all my meetings moved to virtual. And so I didn't
Hmm.
have to like, oh, I have to pump right now. I have to do this. So he actually got more time, with the boys, with
Right.
the family. Like I didn't have to, my mom couldn't watch him because I didn't want her to get sick or
Yeah.
anything. So we got the
I
most
know.
time with him. It was interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about your company.
Hmm.
It was born out of your experience. So what
Hmm.
problems were you trying to solve when you came up with this company?
Yeah. So, it started with the nipple shield is really what it started with. So when I breastfed my son, so my daughter who is 10, she's my stepdaughter, and I always tell this story. I was like crying when I had my son because I was so scared to come home from the hospital. I was terrified, and I
Yes,
was just so grateful that my husband had gone through it before with my stepdaughter. That he kind of like eased that pain for
I
me,
could see
and
it. Yes.
and knowing that he had been through it made me feel a lot
Right.
better.
Because
But
it feels like we're just like given this baby and
I
I have to
know.
keep this thing. He's only 5 pounds. How am I
Yes.
going to keep him alive? And they're like,
I
you're
know.
fine. Bye.
I know.
See you at your 6 week appointment.
Yes. So I was so grateful for her that I had her, and that I had, and I had to raise her for I got to raise her for a couple years, obviously, with her mom. But
Hmm.
and so I had a little bit of experience with her as from 2 to 4, and now
Okay.
I had her to be a big sister to him. But anyway, so I was breastfeeding my son for the first time, and I had to use a nipple shield. But I would always lose it. Like I could never ever find the thing. I was, under the bed and the sheets and the couch. I could never find it, and I was just like, "Where are the colored nipple shields? Nowhere to be found." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna make one." I always kind of had like an entrepreneurial spirit, and I always wanted to do something. And of course, I didn't do it with my son. My daughter came around. I went through the same thing, and my husband was like, "You should really do this. You should really go for it. Make it. You can't be the only one
Right.
who's losing their nipple shield." But I was
Right.
just so scared to start. And so I was like, you know what? You're right. I wanted to go back to work, but I didn't want to go back to the corporate setting, because I wanted to spend time with my kids. So I was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to start this and I'm going to go for it. So it all started with the nipple shield. When I was designing it, I was like, if I'm going to make a whole new prototype, I might as well make it pretty as well. I'm
Yes.
going to make it colored. Let me shape it into a beautiful design. So I made it into a flower. And then that was kind of the point where I was like, wait a second. I was brought back to those postpartum days, and when I wasn't feeling like myself, and realizing, wow, like we as moms deserve so much more. I can take every single product that we use and make it beautiful, because that's really
Mm.
what we need and what we deserve.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so tell me what other products you have. So you have the nipple shields. That's what
Yes.
started
So
it.
yeah, so basically anything around breastfeeding is what we carry. So reusable nursing pads, disposable nursing pads, lactation massager. We have sunflower lecithin. We have really cute and beautiful, leather holding bags. We have a lactation roller. Oh my goodness. We have silver nursing cups. Really anything that you need for breastfeeding is what we have. And I always mention, we are not a breastfeeding company. I don't care how you feed your baby. You can formula
Mhm.
feed, you can breastfeed, it does not matter. a happy baby is a fed baby.
Right.
It just made sense from the nipple shield to continue the line of breastfeeding products.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the direction that we went in,
Love
but
that.
maybe one day we'll have, a full postpartum line as well. We'll see.
I just feel like too, so much has come out since I had mine. Like you hear the moms talk about like what's the new thing, and I'm like, they have pumps that don't make sound. You can
I
wear
have,
them like while you're walking around and no
yeah,
one knows
you
you're
have to be
wearing
strapped
a
to the
breast.
wall.
What? Yes, I had the like, wah, 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 and I
Totally.
couldn't move, and I was like, well, I guess I'll sit here for 20 minutes. It's amazing the stuff that I
I
can do.
know.
But
I
that's just
know.
like a testament to people thinking of mom, not
Mhm.
just like, because a lot of people say during pregnancy, you're glowing, you're treated like a princess, like you have all these appointments. Then you have the baby, and it's like all about the baby, and mom is just kind of sidelined. So this
Yes.
kind of like new culture of let's take care of mom, let's check in on mom, so huge.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I think we're definitely headed in the right direction of making sure that we're putting mom first,
Yeah,
100%. And that's the direction that it should be. It should
right.
be about the mom and her recovery and how she's feeling and how she's doing mentally because like I mentioned before, the mom is the one who's really bearing all of those feelings.
Hmm.
So we have to make sure she's okay, and if the mom's okay, the baby's going to be okay.
Right. So what are some simple things that like a partner or a friend or family members can do to support moms in those early days? Like what would you suggest if someone's like, "Oh, they just had a baby, what can I do for them?"
Yes. Well, I think, of course, making sure that she has all the things that she needs to be successful, whether it's, from the ice packs and all of that stuff to all of the breastfeeding things, if that's the route she chooses for her baby. Also, checking in on the mom, making sure that you ask about the mom first before the baby, offering help so that the mom can take a shower or,
Mhm.
take a nap. Really just focusing rather on asking what you can do to help the baby, what you can do to help the mom.
Right. Oh, so true. My cousin just had a baby, and my
Hmm.
aunt and uncle are going down to visit them. And my first thought was like, just offer to hold him so she can take a nap, or like take
Yes,
him for a walk if she's comfortable. Like everyone has different comfort levels of
of
like,
course.
no, I'd rather be the one. But if you can get a nap while you are postpartum, like that could change your whole day.
It
Makes a
really can.
difference.
It really, really
Yes.
can. Yes.
Yes.
Even 5 minutes is such a game
Yes.
changer. It
So
really
true.
is.
I
Yeah.
remember once my best friend, I was visiting her. I had gone back to work. So my son was probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months, 9 months at the time. And I went to visit her, and she was like, I was telling her, I'm like, I'm just so tired. I'm working, getting up early. And she's like, I'm going to take Ronan for a walk with her son. Her son was a year older. She's like, I want you to lay on my couch and I want you to take a nap. And at first I was like, I can't do that. I'm not going to take a nap in your house. But she's like, I'm going. You do it. And it was amazing. I
Hmm.
still think of that nap, and I'm like, that was the best nap I took. It was so great.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I would
But like
also
she
say,
had the knowing. She knew like
right.
I know what it feels like to go through this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a first time mom though, I would have to say it feels scary to allow somebody to care for your baby sometimes just
Hmm.
because really when you have your baby, that mama bear instinct that people talk about, it really does kick in.
Hmm.
And that feeling of making sure that you're protecting your baby at all costs is so real. But
Right.
for the first time mom, just allowing the people around you to help you so you
Yeah.
can have that time to
And
yourself.
let go of control. Because I remember thinking,
I know.
that's not how I was holding him. That's not,
Yes.
even though I still was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I was like, but I did the research and I'm supposed to swaddle him this way, or, or just letting your husband or partner like, okay, you're doing the bath that way. Okay. And just let it
Yeah,
go. It's okay. It doesn't
absolutely.
have to be the way
A-
I do it.
Absolutely. I always tell myself if I was going to go through and if I was going to get pregnant one more time, that would be the one thing that I would try to be better at is just allowing things to happen the way they're supposed to happen, not being so worried about, oh my gosh, is the baby sleeping 2 hours or it needs to be awake. It hasn't been awake all day. It's not going to sleep tonight. Just
Hmm.
being more at peace with how I am feeling in the moment, not trying to control the situation so
Yeah.
much, just so that for my own
Yeah.
sanity and well being
Yeah.
would be like, I kind of want to feel without feel like, and I know that's hard to say after you're
Hmm.
going through postpartum and you have all those, hormones and
Yeah,
emotions rolling through you. But
right.
I would, that's the advice that I would give myself if I
Me
was to do it again.
too. I wish I could go back with my first and enjoy it more because
Yeah,
I did feel
same.
like I tried to control the sleep. He has to get on this schedule and he needs to
Hmm.
sleep this amount of hours. With my third, I did a sleep training course before I had my third because I'm like, okay, like we've got three kids now. We need to figure out the sleep thing so I can sleep more.
Hmm.
And one of her advice was um, try and have him take one nap a day in his crib. So if you need to hold him for all the other naps during the day, that's fine. Have him try one nap a day. And that was so nice because it just gave me permission to be like, oh, so I can hold him while he's
Yeah.
sleeping. That's not gonna like
Yeah.
with my first, I felt like, they're gonna spoil him or he'll never get used to sleeping by himself. Don't hold him. Like no one hold him while he's sleeping. And I didn't get to enjoy those like little
Hmm.
snuggles like I should have.
Hmm.
So
Totally. I
just
agree, 1000%.
try and enjoy it. Yeah. And
Yes.
give yourself grace.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so
Oh
much.
my, yeah. Yes,
Ugh.
absolutely.
Ye-
Absolutely.
for the moms listening right now who kind of feel invisible in those days postpartum, what would you tell them or what would you like them to hear right now?
Yeah, eh, first of all, it's very normal to feel that way. I think every new mom feels that way at some point because every new mom is going through her own struggles, and it's easy to feel when you're in the thick of postpartum with a new baby.
Mhm.
Um, I would say, try and support or try and lean on the support around you, whether it's family or friends. And if you don't feel like you have that, one thing that I really love to do was journal. I feel like journaling for me was such a release. It really helped me connect with myself, just understand, where I was in this space, but kind of give me the freedom to think about the future and be excited about what's to come with myself and also my little family.
Mm.
But also just a reminder that this feeling will not last
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
It feels hard and tough when you're in the middle of it, but when you look back in a couple months, even a couple months,
Hmm.
it's such a different outlook. So like you said, give yourself grace for how you're feeling and where you are, and own that and be okay with that, and don't feel like you have to be or you should be feeling differently. It's okay to feel that way right now.
Yeah.
It's not your forever.
Yeah. Have you ever gone back and looked at those journals? Have you read them?
No, I haven't. I should do that. I think, yeah. I don't
It
love
would be
reading past
interesting.
things. It would
Yeah.
be. I've had a lot of different journals over the year, but I did read a post from 2020, and like it really melted my heart
Wow.
as
One
to
that you had
where
written.
what I had written versus where I am now, and like how I'm getting goosebumps talking about it
Yeah.
because I was always so scared to try something new, or I had big dreams and I wanted to do these things, but I was always really really scared. And now looking at myself and watching myself do them and take
Mhm.
risks and do it confidently was just
Oh,
like
that's really cool.
beautiful to see. Yeah.
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 I had a playlist, a song playlist
Mhm.
that I put together when my oldest was a baby, and I would play it when we were just sitting in the room, like, what do I do with a 4-month-old? I'm home by myself. Like, we're just laying in the room, and I would play that playlist. When I hear
Yes.
songs from that playlist, it just like instantly brings me back. And I'm
I
like, I can
love that.
feel that feeling. But it's kind of like reading your journal where it's
Mhm.
like, oh God, I don't know if I want to feel that feeling again, but then it's like
Yes.
nostalgic. So I can see
Mhm.
why it's
Mhm.
hard for me to hear those songs because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember how it felt in
Yes.
that little
Yes.
nursery that we were stuck in.
I should do that though, and make it a point to do that, because I think it also is a healing thing. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like it heals you when you see who you were versus to who
Right.
you are now.
Right. Look how far
Um,
we've come.
yeah,
Right. Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What do you wish someone had told you during your postpartum days?
Oh my goodness. I think we touched on it for sure. I just wish somebody would have told me to just be more relaxed, go with the flow, don't try and control.
Yeah.
things,
Hard to do in
as
the
well as
moment, but man, I wish I
I
could
know
do
it's so hard in the moment,
that.
but
Hmm.
I think it's so important, and it's so needed for a mom to know that it's okay to do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
And you will feel better and be able to be a better version of yourself and a better version for your baby if you can just kind of go with the flow and try and, make peace with the day to day.
Mhm. I think I did not know how to ask for help. Like I
Yeah,
was desperate. I know I could have used so much more help, but I didn't know how to say, I
sure.
need help until it was just like a meltdown. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
just can't do it. And had I just known, like if I had just said like, hey, you know what would help is washing the bottles, like the
Yeah.
littlest thing. And I just did not know how to ask
Hmm.
that. So
Yes. Yeah,
man,
absolutely. Yes.
yeah,
That's huge. That is
yeah.
I agree with that, definitely. I feel very grateful that my mother-in-law, like, she came over and she watched the baby while I went to the gym, and that was like my me time and my time to be
So
alone
nice.
and just get out for an
Hmm.
hour and just
Yep.
have something that, kicked off my endorphins and made me feel good about myself. So
Hmm.
that was, if you need just that hour, try and find someone.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Um, Talk about your company. Where did the name come from? How did you come up with that name?
Yeah, so I actually had another name for the company when I started. It was called Modern Mama. I don't know why I was so hooked on that, but now I look back, I'm like, ugh, that is not good. So I went to go get it trademarked, and the lawyer was like, it's too common, you can't trademark this name.
Ah,
So I needed to come up with something new.
okay.
So my husband and I were kind of Googling, and we came across Le Lolo, and Le Lolo in French. I don't even know that I'm saying it correctly. Probably not. The French have beautiful
Right, those
accents. So
beautiful
how they
accents.
say it is going to be a lot different. But it means like the boob or the breast or the tit in
Ah,
French. And I was
I
like,
didn't
babe,
know
that's,
that.
I know. I was like, that's so cute. It's like a play
Yes.
on breastfeeding and just women in general. So
Hmm.
Le Lolo.
Love that story. I had no
Yes.
idea that's what it meant, but you're right. It makes
Yeah.
it pretty. It takes like this period, this phase that we're in that could be like uncomfortable and kind of like I'm just not used to this and the breastfeeding, I'm not used to this, and just brings it and makes it lovely. I love that.
Yes. Thank
Can you
you.
tell us where we can find your website or social media? Where do we find you if we would
Yes,
like to
absolutely.
get
So
any of your products?
yes, our website is We Are Lelolo, WeAreLelolo. We Are Lelolo. We're also We Are Lelolo on Instagram. We Are Lelolo on TikTok. Yeah, all the things We Are Lelolo because
Love it. Love
yes,
it. Well, I'm
yeah.
going to add all those to the show notes, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And your listeners can use the code Burnt Pancakes for 20% off of their order if they would
Oh,
like.
love it. I'm going to add that
Yes.
also. Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank Courtney so much for being here and sharing her experience with motherhood and postpartum. I just really think it's important that moms open up so that we can support you through this and let you know that you matter just as much as that cute little baby that you brought into this world. If you want to check out her products, make sure to look at the link below and use the code Burnt Pancakes for 20% off. I can already see this being a great shower gift for any new mom. And until next week, I do want to remind you that everyone burns their first pancakes, so just keep flipping.